What's up, guys? Welcome. So I have a treat for you guys today. Not only have I become a VTuber, so that means I'm like immortal and stuff, but also we're gonna be taking a look at the brand new ESO skill lines that are gonna be coming sometime in the future. Okay, all right, you guys got to keep in mind, like, this is pre-alpha, alpha stuff. Okay, so it's like unreleased, like special classified documents kind of stuff. Okay, and I think each of them are pretty cool. And I have a exclusive screenshot with me here. Hold on, let me pull it up. Um, so as you can see here, we have all of the new abilities. We'll be going over each and every single one of these. Okay, so that's I think that one's called Cutting Light. That one is called like Gun or something. That one's like Pulsar or whatever. That one is like Rubber Band, and I think that one is Connection Interrupted. And then we have the new Ultimate Tomater. I'm excited for that one, honestly. And also we have a new system of resources. So now we have magic, health, and stamina, right? They're adding a new resource pool that they're going to be taking from, and that would be your FPS over here. So you're going to have this on because this is something you're going to have to toggle on so you can see your FPS. But luckily they're moving that to consoles as well, so you have to toggle on your FPS. At the moment it's at 35 because I think he just casted one of the abilities or whatever. But as you can see, it's a new resource we're going to be using for these things, and I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I've been looking forward to a new skill line for this game, and we finally got something. So I guess let's go ahead and take a look at the new abilities and stuff. So first up on our list, we have Cutting Light. Okay, so this one is a targeted self, and it costs 1,420. I'm not sure what that is, stamina or magic, but let's look at it and see what it says. Envelop your weapon in pure light for 10 seconds, causing your next 3 light or heavy attacks to deal additional damage based on how close you are to the target. At 25 meters or more, deal 2,396 flame damage to your target. This scales up to a maximum of 145% more damage to targets closer than 25 meters away from you. While slotted, every third cast of a direct damage ability applies the burning status effect to its target. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I've always been wanting another thing that we could use to, empower our weapons, basically, so that way we can, weave additional skills in between other things. And this is pretty cool. Every third cast of a direct damage ability applies the burning status effect. So, like, if you have this passively slotted, like next to Dizzy Swing, if you cast Dizzy Swing 3 times, I think it might set your target on fire. That's what it looks like. And then, apparently, the closer you are to a target, so they fixed the issue where if you're using it as a range spammable, it's not going to do as much damage. But if you're closer to your target, so like you use it on like dual wield or something, it's going to do 145% more damage if you're like right on top of them with a melee weapon. So I'm glad to see that they fixed the issue with the skills and their scaling, especially like weapons like this that are applied to yourself, because I reckon that this is like crystal weapon and imbue weapon, and I'm looking forward to using this. Definitely can see some uses for it on mini builds, and that cost is pretty cheap as well. So, and also the additional burning seems pretty nice. So looking forward to using this for sure, for sure. The next ability we have is called Gun. Okay, so obviously, this looks like a ranged ability. It's targeted on the enemy. It has a range of 340 meters. That is impressive. For a cost of 4,570, probably stamina at this point. You don't know. So the skill description: summon technologies unknown, conjuring a firearm to blast targets up to 340 meters away, dealing 16,000 physical damage and inflicting the target with the hemorrhaging status effect. Additionally, targets affected by this ability are affected with major defile for 10 seconds, reducing their healing received and health recovery by 15%. This seems a bit overtuned, honestly, in my opinion. 16,000 is like ultimate sort of damage, but it has a pretty big cost. The range, this skill kind of worries me. It might be a little bit overtuned. Maybe the major defile's too much, but maybe lower that by maybe like 3k and you'll be fine, and then up the cost a little bit. I think it'll be fine. But honestly, overall, I could see this being a pretty good spammable if you could lower the cost. But if you had to lower the cost, you'd have to lower the damage as well, because it might be a bit too powerful. But technology is unknown, so this is like summoning things. So if you want to play like a necromancer or like a new pet build, I think maybe you might be able to use this because you're like a summoner and stuff. But it's pretty cool. Honestly, pretty cool. Looking forward to using this. The next ability that we have is called Warping Pulsar. This is targeted on the self, and it costs 3,670, probably magic, because it's doing fire damage, it looks like. Okay, so become the center of the universe and implode, sending out pulses for 7 seconds. dealing 16,000 flame damage after 1 second, 19,000 flame damage after 2 seconds, and then 2,500 fire damage after 4 seconds, afflicting targets hit with the burning status effect and stunning targets that took damage from all 3 pulses for 2 seconds. Killing a target with this ability causes this ability to automatically recast itself at no cost and deal 10% more damage. Ooh, so this one just kind of casts itself. I think from what I heard that this ability, whenever you kill someone with it, so like this bottom part, it's not gonna be on your global cooldown. It's just gonna like reset the timer for the 7 seconds that it does, and the 10% more damage. So these are all gonna go up by 10%, I think. And I like the fact that it applies the burning status effect. And also, if they are too close to you for super long periods of time, it's just going to stun them. So, if you're fighting outnumbered, I can see this being very useful, but also kind of cheesy in duels, honestly, by the looks of it. Might be a bit overtuned for duels because, you're getting a lot of value out of this small skill. So, but, overall, it looks pretty interesting. I like the concept of it. I think what they could do with this ability to improve it would be like, up the cost just a little bit, maybe 4K magic if it's going to cost magic, and then, take away the stun, or at least make it the stun a snare if they're stuck, so you don't have to constantly be CCing break, because your CC's on a 7-second cooldown anyways, so you're constantly going to get CC'd with this ability, which is kind of overtuned. So if it was just a snare, I think it'd be fine. So they might need to remove the stun from this ability, but overall it's pretty cool. The next ability we have is called the Rubber Band. Okay, so the Rubber Band, this is interesting. Okay, so it costs 2,000 health, magic, and stamina. So these are specified. So I guess we're starting to use our hybridized ability costs now. Like the interesting direction they're going with this ability. Defy the laws of reality and barter with hungry powers, restoring 100% of your maximum health, maximum magic, and maximum stamina. Ooh, wow, okay, 100%. And render yourself invulnerable to all incoming damage for 6 seconds, dodging all incoming attacks for 6 seconds, and become immune to immobilizing effects for 6 seconds. For 6 seconds, rapidly teleport 8 meters back and forth relative to where the ability was cast from. So this is like if Streak was having a bad day. I can see why it's called Rubber Band, because it's just going to blink, blink, blink back and forth, and you're going to be really hard to hit, and also you're going to just not die because you're immune to all damage, you dodge all attacks, and it can't be stunned, so no one can hold you down. I think the fact that it cost this much, 2,000 health, magic, and stamina, and it restores each of those resources back to full is kind of a little bit overtuned, but I see what they're going for here. They're going for bending the laws of reality, as it says here, and obviously, if you're going to do that, you need to kind of have something that's kind of bending the laws of reality and doesn't really make sense, so it's kind of like undo in a sense, but it's tied to an ability, so my worry is this should have a ramping cost if you're just going to spam it, like an extreme ramping cost. So also like 100% more cost increase if you cast this within like 10 seconds of itself, because that would punish people that are going to do it, and eventually they'll cast it so much they can't do it no more. But it's an interesting skill. I could see it being used quite often, honestly. This is a very interesting skill for sure. For our next ability, we have Connection Interrupted. Okay, so this one is very interesting. It's targeted on the enemy. It costs 5,457 magic, and it consumes 50 frames per second. See, we're starting to see the usage of this new, sustain source or whatever. Disrupt your foe, calling upon the legendary powers of David Vonderhaar and Rich Lambert to shackle an enemy to the ground, stunning them for 5 seconds. If the target fails to break the stun before the duration expires, they will auto-disconnect from the given server and be unable to log back in for 45 seconds. Wow, okay. While the target is stunned, remove 50 frames per second from the target and reduce their resource recovery by 100%. This attack cannot be blocked or dodged. It's nice to finally see a stun that, any class can use, any build can use, and it's just all, you have access to it as long as you have the brand new skill line. Okay, it's really nice to see that they're starting to add like more utility skills for these new skill lines, because some classes really do struggle with having a good CC, like Necromancer is kind of hard to nail someone down unless you're like using Dizzying Swing or whatever, and then if you really want to, you'd have to use like Arctic Blast on the front to time something up with a burst or whatever. for, wardens. But this could really fix things up. You could drop a few abilities and put this on, because that 50 frames per second, I mean, if you have a really decent PC, that's not going to be anything at all. And you're also going to drain 50 frames per second. Is that over like 5 seconds? Is that like a dot, or is that like you just remove 50 frames from them and that's like a debuff or whatever? Like, if that escalates, this might be a little bit overtuned, honestly. But overall, I like this. It's nice to, be able to give other classes a chance to have a good CC, and it can't be dodged or blocked, so this might even replace Fossilize on the Dragonite, if we're being honest, or, Shattering Rocks, whichever morph you like, because of just, the additional removal of the subject from the servers for 45 seconds, which is a nice touch. Honestly, I like it. Okay, and then for the ultimate ability, and like lastly, I'm most excited for this one. We have Toe Mater. This is a really cool looking ability. I actually have some exclusive footage. I'll show you guys here in a second of this ability in action. Do keep in mind, like, this is just the base version. I don't know what the morphs of these abilities look like because, well, I haven't actually been able to dig deep enough to find them. But, maybe if you guys really want me to, I can dig a little deeper and find the morphs for each of these abilities, and even the passives, because I don't know what those are, but we know what the base abilities are. So this is Toe Mater, right? It is targeted in an area, and it costs 125 ultimate, okay? Reach through time and space, calling upon the animated character Toe Mater to ravage an area, dealing 19,567 physical damage to all enemies within 26 meters of the targeted area. This damage is increased by 65% per enemy up to a maximum of 6 times. If there are more than 6 enemies in the affected area, the cost of this ability is refunded. Ooh, that sounds very spicy. Yes, it does. Like, this is the one confusing thing I have, though. It's targeted on an area, so is it like, it's not targeted on an enemy. So is it like a free cast, like Dawnbreaker? So you have to kind of aim it? Is it like a cone? Is it like, a ground cast ability like the Colossus ultimate on Necromancer? I'm not really sure. It's a little unclear, but honestly, the tooltip is just really surprising. Like, this could wipe some Zergs. Combine this with Vicious Death and maybe, like, Spin to Win, and then just stacked on top of, like, Proxy Debt, and then, you're good to go. You're good to go. You can wipe mini groups with this. And for PvE, I can also see this being very useful as, normally you have a lot of ads, and if there's like more than 6 ads, you can just spam this, so you'll be able to increase your DPS by at least 70k or something like that with this ultimate ability alone. So that'll really help the accessibility for new players, which I think everyone should be excited for. And honestly, I'm excited to use this ability. I don't know about you, but let's go take a look at that exclusive footage I have of this ability. I think it's pretty cool. Okay, guys, so thank you to Zenimax for sending me this exclusive footage. Do keep in mind that this is like pre-alpha, alpha. So this is like not even like, this is really early, like super early footage. So that's why these guys are in stiffy mode. I'm not quite sure why they look like Sonic. I think, is that Obama? I'm not, it doesn't matter. So as you can see here, exclusive footage. Here are all the new abilities. I think this is the showcase of the new ultimate, Toe Mater. At its base form, it's not morphed yet. I don't know what the morphs are. I haven't done enough digging for that, but as you can see, we have Toe Mater here, and well, this is a showcase of what it does. So let's take a look. That was really fast. Okay, so as you can see, it's just a wind-up. It's a 1-second animation, so, it fits in within the global cooldown. I'm not sure if it's an insta-cast ultimate, so I'm not sure if you can animation cancel this thing, but as you can see, he pulls his arm back, and then out comes Toe Mater from some sort of pocket dimension. He slams it into the ground, explosions happen, and now there's ragdoll physics in ESO or something. I don't know. And as you can see, it just launches forward, and I guess it just kind of clips through the map. Remember, this is like super pre-alpha footage, so, it is to be expected that, it's not fully complete yet, and that's why the animation kind of looks robotic in a sense, but I mean, this is pretty impressive. And if you look at the tooltip for this thing, like, that's probably like 50k damage, and if it crits, it's like 75k, because it like scales up the more enemies are in the area. Now, of course, the HUD is bugged because it's just a, it's different, but, that's besides the point. But I'm thoroughly impressed with this. I mean, this could shake up the meta of the game, honestly, because anyone can get access to this ultimate ability, granted they buy the DLC, okay? So, you never know. You never know. This is pretty cool, guys. So overall, guys, I'm very excited because Zenimax is finally actually doing something pretty interesting with their game. You know, I'm looking forward to using all these new skills when they come out on a PTS. We don't have a release date, but I speculate maybe coming in the summer of 2024 with the next chapter update when that comes out. It's a while away, but they have to manage all their servers and stuff first. That's pretty important so that way these abilities kind of actually work. But I'm just glad to see that they're actually implementing stuff that's kind of decent, half decent, and I'm just very thankful that they sent me the early footage exclusives of all of this stuff. So, what do you guys think? Put it in the comments and let me know your opinions on all this fun stuff. And if you want me to do a little bit more digging and like come up with the morphs for these abilities and find out what those are, and even find the passive abilities for this skill line, I'll definitely be doing that if you guys really want me to. Let's say what, just tell me if we get like 50 likes or whatever. I don't know, like goals or whatever. Um, it doesn't matter. I'll probably do it anyways, but because I'm curious. But yeah, thanks guys for watching the video, and have a good night.